Okay.
Just to let y'all know. Oh, ha!
Oh, you going to ball?
Yeah. Now that it's fresh, shoot.
My hand's cold.
That joke, yes, your hands are cold. But that joke is clean. So the wife got, you know, I was telling my wife I needed a razor, electric razor. And she got it.
I be listening.
For Christmas, you know.
I be listening.
Without me, you know, I was sitting up there like, I gotta go get it, So she got it. So now that boy clean.
That boy there clean. That boy there.
That boy clean. That joke was smooth too. Cause you know, a lot of times I be wearing hats. Usually cause I'm cold, to be honest. A bald head, you be cold. But anyway.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yes.
All right.
This is our first video for, no, this is not our first video for the new year. Well, this is the first time we're filming for the new year, I should say, but we already had our first video for the new year.
Yep.
But officially, Happy New Year, everyone.
Indeed.
Hope you guys are enjoying 2021. I know it started off real, you know, we had some remnants of 2020
yeah.
in 2021.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm claiming that this year is going to be a great year.
Yo, did y'all see the commercial where they had the devil
the
date in 2020? Like they was going on dates. Yeah, oh, that joke was funny.
Oh boy,
2020 was a special year.
Funny memes thus far.
Yeah,
too.
a lot of y'all have been out there wilding. Y'all been coming up with some stuff. I ain't gonna front. It's been some funny stuff, bro. And we need to laugh, so I appreciate it.
We do.
We be needing. So I appreciate all of the laughs.
Yes, but any. Welcome
to the J&O Show,
where we talk about
things that we were never told. I'm Jay.
And I'm O.
And now you know.
If you guys are new to our channel, please make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure you turn on those post notifications so you can know when we upload. All right? Because you never want to miss an episode. Also, if you guys have ideas for any show topics, please be sure to comment below and put hashtag next show and let us know what ideas you have that you want us to talk on, or if there's videos that we spoke on in the past and there was a certain point or something you wanted us to elaborate on, definitely let us know in the comment section. All right, but today we are actually going to be continuing our conversation, part of the series of what are some of the issues between black men and black women when it comes to relationships. So we told you guys 2 weeks ago that we were going to be coming out with this video today. This video is why men ain't, yes, we said it, why men ain't, well, I guess since we're talking about black men and black women, black men, okay. So I told you we was going to be getting all of us together. So we came for the women. Now we coming for the men. All right.
Yes. So some of y'all been waiting for this, I'm sure. Just like, because we was going through the issues that black men have with black women and why the relationships aren't working. And I'm pretty sure y'all was like, yeah, but it ain't all us. Y'all be doing this and y'all be doing that. Y'all was ready. So here it is. It's not all going to be like you think it is, though. I can tell you that much. But some of the things we definitely have to give you, just like on the other side, there are certain things that black women may be doing to sabotage their own relationships. There are definitely some things that men are doing to sabotage their own relationships. So what are the obvious things?
Yes.
There are some obvious things.
Like the number one thing I think would be cheating. That's always... At least that's a topic that I always hear about, or that women are always, in general, kind of complaining about men cheating. Right.
I think that one is like pretty obvious. Like, you know, if you cheating, I mean, it also implies if you're cheating on somebody that you're probably lying to them too, which is number two.
Right.
I would say these are not necessarily in any particular order, guys, but these are just the two things that you hear the most when black men ain't ish, or just men in general ain't ish. We're concentrating on black men. But yeah, the cheating and the lying thing, yo, a lot of that stuff, like I know that it's learned behavior, a lot of it. You see it from the men around you, or you just see it on TV if there aren't any men around you, or you'll see it from your boys or whatever the case may be, and you'll think that that's the way to go because guys are just trying to get as much viscosity. They're trying to get as much as they possibly can.
And I was gonna say, I think part of the issue too is that it's praised. I feel
cheating is praised
a lot of times. Yeah, I feel like.
Well, we do have a that's a whole video though.
Yeah,
because our culture be tripping on some of these things that we ought not to be uplifting.
Yeah, it's like uplifting, like, oh, how many girls you done bagged, or how many girls you done smashed, and all that. I'm like,
it's uplifted.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not necessarily cheating, but the whole idea of conquest. And that being something that's praised, to have a lot of women that you had sex with and stuff. Yeah, that's something I would say, in my personal experience, I don't see it as much now as it was when I was like in high school. When I was in high school, woof. It was like a thing. I don't see it as much now. It's sort of, you don't really get a badge of honor for having sex with a whole bunch of women nowadays, as far as I can see. Really? It's like you just sort of do. Well, I'm just talking about in guy conversations. That's not something that we any longer praise.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a difference in time or just because we're a different age. I can't really call it, because it could be like, oh, we was in our teenage years, in our 20s. That's just all we was thinking about. I never was particularly one of the people that was caught up in that. But at the same time, I knew a lot of guys, and I hung out with a lot of guys who were, obviously.
Okay.
So, it didn't really bother me with how many women that you were with and stuff like that. But back then, it was something that was definitely praised. Not so much now. And like I said, I don't know why. I don't think it's really much to be said about that. Like, I think most people would agree that cheating is wrong. And I think most people would agree that lying is wrong. So, like, I don't really think it's a lot to be said about that. Okay. There are reasons why men cheat, and there are reasons why women cheat. And that is a video by itself. We can't go through all of this stuff and think we're just going to talk about the reasons behind why people cheat. Like, it's so many on both sides of the spectrum that it's hard to really just narrow down. The lying thing to me is more of a character thing. But if you grew up in a house where the guy was lying, because I've been hearing a lot lately, unfortunately, about people and like how their fathers treated their mother, or how their dads moved, if they were even in the home to begin with. Okay. And how, like, this, my dad was out doing dirt and like just doing grimy stuff. I mean, if that's what you come up in, you're either going to go one of two ways. You're going to completely reject it, or you're just going to fall into line. And a lot of times, guys embrace what they saw growing up, just like women do. So that's just sort of how that comes about. But those are two of the easier ones that everybody knows to go to. But we also have one major one that men don't commit.
Why don't men commit?
Why don't men commit? So I guess I'm going to be talking a lot in this video, because, I mean, I guess she's not a man, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean.
But I was talking a lot in the women's video, too, so it's like.
But that's you. You just talk a lot. It's
Wow. You see how she trying to play me out? See, when I was quiet, everybody was like, Jermaine, don't ever talk. But now, all of a sudden, I talk too much. Okay. I see how you living.
I didn't say you talk too much. I just said you talk a lot. But that's all right, babe. You got a lot of information to share.
Anyway. He
does.
Why? Okay, so women are wondering, why don't men commit? I'll say the number one reason why men don't commit, and it was something that I had a big problem with when I got married.
What was this?
Women have, hold on, because my kids is out there going crazy for absolutely no reason, so I'm going to have to go and tell them to be quiet. Okay, she's back. Bam, just like that. So look, why don't men commit? So my thing was, women have a biological clock. Right? They're able to go and have kids. In order for them to have their family, they have to meet a guy, basically, clank him down, you know what I'm saying? And marry him, if marriage is what they're into, because, it's different for every person. It just is. Have babies with him and form that family, generally before they get 35, 40. Generally. Because after that, it becomes more dangerous to have babies. Men don't have that clock. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of relationships, you'll see the men are older than the women. Men's clock is the providing clock. Our clock is, I know I met you at 24 and we fell in love. And I kept on telling you I really wanted to marry you. Or even that we wanted to date, and it seemed like you was feeling the energy that I liked you a lot. And you know what? Maybe I 100% did. If the guy was smart and had foresight, he probably wouldn't even date you or make you his girlfriend or his fiance, and definitely wouldn't marry you. Then there are the guys who will go and, will do all of that stuff and make you their fiance, and then make you wait 9 years. Those, for us, if we can't provide, like, that's, in a family structure, that's how men quantify their value in a family relationship. Can I provide for this family? And especially here in America, that is monetarily. And it takes a certain amount of money, especially in America, to be able to live any type of decent life. So in the mind of men, if I don't have the money to, hold on, I'm not, did they not hear? What happened?
A few moments later.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I was going to say, so, okay, I give you that. I get that. Men want to be able to feel as though they're financially ready to be able to provide for their family before they commit.
That's not the only reason, but that's number one.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll reserve my other question then until you go to the next point.
Okay. So number one is if they're not ready. That's if they're of the mind to, if they're marriage minded. All men are not marriage minded. If they're marriage minded, a marriage minded man might either not even date you or date you and not fully commit to you because he doesn't feel that he's ready to provide for a family. Because once you start bringing kids in there, there's cost. The woman might not be able to work and all of that other stuff. So there's a lot to consider, and men don't just jump into that situation.
Okay.
Number two reason why men aren't ready, don't commit. They might flat out not be ready to be with one woman.
Okay.
Which is I mean, it just sort of is what it is. It literally is exactly what it sounds like. It's no, if you're not ready to be with one woman, and this is attached to the cheating and the lying. If you're not ready to be with one woman, don't commit to one.
I was going to say,
and then
well,
tell
then
them flat out, look, I'm not looking to be in a relationship. I'm dating. I want to meet women. I want to have fun. I want to do all of that stuff. I don't want to be in a relationship. Just be straight up about it. You'd be surprised how many women are in like, okay, fine, I don't care. We could just have fun. Or how many women, I mean, and if they just walk away from it, then good. Like you don't want to be the douchebag that's lying to a bunch of women and cheating and stuff.
And wasting their time.
And they're trying to look for a husband.
Wasting their good years, as we call it.
and like that's like super inconsiderate. So
that's selfish.
So I would say that would be number two. Like sometimes men just aren't ready. I would say, because I know we've said before, I wouldn't even say that you should be looking to get married in your early 20s. And that is connected to purpose and all of that other stuff. I wouldn't even say unless you some child prodigy who was doing your purpose when you was 15 and now that you're 23, you already at a place where you can go and have your family and actually give them the time that they require. I wouldn't even say that anyway. So for me, I think that men need to be getting married later than they do. Different for women because of the fertility thing, right? If they didn't have the fertility thing, I would tell them to wait a little later too, so that they can know themselves. But that, unfortunately for them, that they don't have that luxury if they want to have kids, and depending on how many kids they want to have.
Okay.
So they don't have the luxury that men have. So those would be like two of the major things. So first it was the money, and the second one is they're just not ready to be with anyone. And that is completely legitimate for so many reasons.
Okay.
There's the, I don't want to be with one woman and commit to her because I want to go out and have fun and I want to have a certain amount of freedom. That's fair. There's I don't want to commit to one woman because I'm working on my purpose and I don't want to be distracted. I don't want to have anybody else to worry about having to give my time to. I want to focus 100% completely on my purpose, which is more than fair. I think that that's probably your best reason, to be honest.
Okay.
And then there's I don't want to commit to one woman just because, I mean, I'm damaged. I just got out of a relationship or whatever, and, I'm off of that right now. That's also good because I don't believe in people just spreading damage to each other. So, just be single.
But so what about those who actually, they are financially stable, like they're making enough money to be able to take care of themselves and take care of another person, and they're in a relationship with them for 5, 6, 10 years, and it's not a situation where they're like young.
That should never happen.
And they just been in a relationship with this other person. But why?
That shouldn't.
But it shouldn't. But it does. Like,
no. Okay. So here's my thing. Right. There are a lot of things that men do that they need to take accountability for to make relationships fall apart. There are a lot of things that women do that they should take accountability for when relationships fall apart, when families fall apart and all of that stuff. Don't give men women stuff and don't give women men stuff.
What you mean?
That being said, you should not be with somebody for 10 years and y'all not engaged and married. what do you do? Unless you just don't, if you don't care about being married, if you that's just a piece of paper person, if that's who you are, then you ain't worried about it anyway. You ain't, this ain't really even, this ain't got nothing to do with you.
But unfortunately, I see a lot of instances where women, it's not that they don't want to be they don't want to get married, but because the guy is dragging their feet, they just stay in the relationship in hopes. I know. Don't do it.
No. If you look, if you are ready to get married within a certain amount of time, and the person that you're with isn't, and you see 2 years down the road, you don't at least have a ring. I mean, forget being married, because it's different. Some people's like, yo, we can get married in 6 months. Mm-hmm. Some people get married in 2 years. Some people get married in 3 years. It don't take 5 years for you to get married to somebody. You know whether or not you want to marry
when
them.
you grown.
Yeah, you could just go ahead and do that and knock that out, have it taken care of.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a situation where the guy is like, yo, I'm not, we're talking specifically, he's financially capable.
Right.
And has the time. Because let me tell you something. Besides being financially capable, time is probably more important than anything else when it comes to talking about putting a family together. Okay. It takes time to build a relationship with a woman, and it takes time to raise children.
It does.
And more so, and I would argue that it is more important for you to have the time, especially with children, than it is for you to have the money with them.
Okay.
Because kids need, more than anything, a strong mom and dad figure. Mm-hmm. They need that balance. Like if you're in a situation where, yes, I can take care of you financially, but I work 14 hours a day and I work weekends and I basically never see the kids, then what the influence that they would get from the dad, the balance is not there.
Well, then why are you I guess one particular couple, as an example, that stands out in my mind is Jim Jones and his girl.
Okay.
I forget her name.
Chrissy,
yes. They've been together, I don't even know how long. Mm-hmm. It's been a long time. But I know when we started watching the show Love and Hip Hop that they were on.
That was like season 1.
Yeah, that was like season 1. And they had already been together for a certain amount of time. And I mean, Chrissy, beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure
as long as she ain't your enemy.
That part. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, yeah, beautiful woman. I'm pretty sure she don't have no problems, in that department getting a man that she, another guy. But obviously, what I'm saying, she loved Jim and she wanted to be with him. And she made it very clear, so much so that she actually proposed to him at one point. And I felt really bad in the sense that it's like, here we have this beautiful sister, you know what I'm saying? She's been committed to this guy. They've been together for however long through whatever shenanigans that I'm pretty sure they've been through just because of the lifestyle and the industry that he's in. Right. And he loves her, but is not willing to marry her, but they still in this relationship. And she talked about wanting to have kids and all this other kind of stuff. And I don't know exactly how old she is, but I'm pretty sure she's past the age of I don't want to say of childbearing because she may still be in that realm, but safely, can't even get it out. Safely, right. I guess is the word that I'm looking for, because I mean you can have kids way up until you basically pass menopause.
66-year-old woman just gave birth like last year.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I mean you can have for a while, but you are high risk, and not just that, but I mean, if you see yourself wanting to be able to have children and wanting to be able to be active and do certain things with them, like the older you get, if you wait until you like 45, almost 50 years old, then the type of life that you envisioned with you and your children growing up, it's not going to be the same, because it's just physically certain things that you probably won't be able to do that you would have been able to do back when you were in your 30s, yep. Or in your 20s or whatever the case may be. And I guess that's just a problem that I have. I hate when men do that, where they are in a relationship with someone who they obviously care about and they want to be with, and it's like they give them just enough to make them stay. They keep telling them things like, oh yes, I want to marry you, yes I do want to have a family, and telling them the things that they want to hear, but yet not committing. And I have a problem with that. But on the flip side, I gotta say as well too, I wish that my sisters would put their foot down and not allow this to happen. Like, if you know that you want to be that you want to be married and you want to have a family, don't settle. You got to love yourself more than you love that man. And I know it's a little bit easier said than done, because your feelings is your feelings or what have you, but you can't say you want to be married and you want to have a family and you be with somebody who has the means basically to take care of you and do all this kind of stuff or what have you for like 5+ years, and you're not even engaged. Like, bruh. You are allowing that. You have to put your foot down and walk away. Ultimatum, yes. Like, that's what you want. So don't let them keep on dragging you down this road. Like, yeah, I want to be with you. Yeah, I want to have kids. Yeah, I want you to be my wife. Talk is cheap. Like Beyonce said, put a ring on it.
I'll put it to you like this. And when it comes to that, women, since we're going down that road, and I've heard a new word which I loved.
What's that?
Stop Disneyfying marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Stop Disneyfying marriage. It is not some pretty mystical thing where you live happily ever after. It is the thing in your life that is only second to having kids, and how hard is it a thing to do? That was a really weird way for me to word all of that. I don't know what the heck I was talking about. Look, it is one of the hardest things that you will do besides raising children, is maintaining your relationship with your mate. Mm-hmm. Okay? Stop Disneyfying it, because a lot of women get out here and they want to have a man and they expect it to just poof magically happen when they're ready. But the thing is, you're not ready.
Right.
Like, are you even capable of keeping a man? Do you know how to have a conversation with a man without catching an attitude? Do you know how to be sensible? Do you even know how to, like, take care of a house? Do you know how to, do you know how to do anything that you have to do when you come together with somebody to make them want to stay with you anyway? Do you have any sense of a relationship IQ? Do you know how to communicate?
I think...
that's something that you have to consider.
It's something that you have to consider, but also I was just going to say that because I feel like
this is going to be a really long video.
Yes,
we like
sorry
25
guys,
minutes deep.
But we need to filter that because this is supposed to be about men, not women, in this episode.
Well, yeah, we started off about men, but I didn't want to get into the situation of, hey guy, put a ring on it, and a lot of people are wondering why they're having all of these failed relationships because you're rushing to put a ring on it.
Well,
and that's where I'm coming from.
Well, I put it to you like this. I'm speaking in the context, like I said,
because even the Jim Jones and Chrissy situation, that was a whole, when the show came on, she should have already been gone.
This is true.
Like, that should have never even been a thing. But it's like,
been together for a minute.
What are you willing to give up for what the man has? He's a high earning man with a lot of options. Mm-hmm. So of course she was sort of going to his timetable. And if he really just didn't really want to be married, and bruh, that you got, what do you really want in life? And sometimes you can't have everything.
Yeah.
Do you want to have the money and a certain lifestyle, or do you want to have a family and possibly be happy in that?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you can't have both. Men who make a lot of money have certain options that men who don't make a crap load of money have, and they treat you differently according to that. And you got to take that in. And that's another thing when they be like, yo, men are trash. That's another thing they're talking about. They're talking about these dudes who have the means to do certain things, but they also have the options of having a whole bunch of women clamoring for them all the time.
Right.
And they don't want to commit. But the reality is, just like we said earlier, it goes back to what we were saying. Bro, if you don't want to commit, just tell them, yo, I ain't trying to be with nobody.
Right.
I ain't trying to have no kids. You can go, and especially if you're rich, you can go and party until, you 73.
Yeah.
And do that. At least be honest and upfront about it.
Right. And don't be leading
women on. You know what I'm saying? Now, at the same time, women, you got to take the responsibility on your side. Because if you know that men move a certain way, then you have to take the responsibility of your life. We don't have forever on this earth to get certain things right. At a certain time, everything runs out of time. Mm-hmm. You'll get to a point where you can't have kids no more. You'll get to a certain point where you're too old to get a certain type of guy. You know, like that's a reality. So you have to take responsibility in yourself and not allow these guys, when you meet them, to just like string you along. Right. You were stringing me along for a year, bro. Is we doing? No, we later.
Fact. I mean, it is what it is. It's other men out there.
Hey, I'm serious.
It's other women out there.
Like seriously, like, y'all, it's not worth it.
That person is not the only person on the planet. Even though I know it feels like it.
It does.
I know it feels like it. It does. Like, you know, that's your boo.
Yeah.
And you can't imagine your life without them.
Trust me, you can.
Listen, you will get over it.
Yep.
It's gonna hurt, but you will get over it.
And in the meantime, work on yourself, because guess what? Every time you go into your next relationship, you can become more valuable to that relationship if you're working on yourself, your patience, your ability to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Your ability to solve problems. Like all of that stuff is very valuable in a marriage. I think one of our biggest assets is the fact that we both were in a space where we didn't want drama in the house. Like we actively fought against having drama in our house. And so it ain't no yelling and screaming and kicking and all of that other stuff. Yo, we get mad. We might be mad for an hour or two, and they be like, yo, we got to talk.
Yeah.
And just fix it. Or at least come to the, even if you don't agree, come to the understanding that, yo, I don't actually want you to be mad at me. I know that this happened, but I'm not trying to purposely hurt your feelings.
Right.
You know? Lord, y'all, this is like a 30-minute video. So look, it's obviously going to be, it's obviously going to be a part 2 to this. I don't know if it's going to be a part 3. Easily a part 2, because we still have more stuff that we haven't even touched yet.
Yeah.
So, so if the dude is cheating and lying on you, the cheating thing, I can see maybe a one-time thing on both sides, whether it's the dude cheating or the female. But if it happens again,
we know that don't happen.
If that happens again, just
yeah. But yeah, we'll continue this conversation later, and I'm gonna address that point too.
Yeah.
All right. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope that you all enjoyed. Let us know what your thoughts are. If you agree, what do you think some of the issues are with our men, with black men, and why we have these issues? Just go ahead and drop it in the comments section and let us know. Or if you have a show topic, write #next show so that way we know. All right. But that's gonna do it for this one. All right, we'll see y'all in a few. Deuces.
Peace. Press the out button.
This is Idiom